Right here in the America's Cup port, you can find the dish that made Valencia famous, and the place to come for it. Valencians say that no one in Europe would be eating rice if it hadn't been brought here.
Soy peligrosa, eh?
You're dangerous, yes, I see.
No.
And it gets added over the middle because this distributes it better throughout the liquid.
First choice, lipids.
Fats.
We love olive oil and butter.
It's really not like a risotto, but it's going to be creamy, or at least cheesy.
No doubt about it, Mark. Your food always is cheesy.
It's the best recipes in the world with Mark Bittman of the New York Times.
Valencia. It's one of the busiest ports in the Mediterranean, and now it's the fastest. The America's Cup, with its multi-million-dollar boats and its corporate logos up the wazoo. This is really life in the fast lane. But we're not here for the fast boats or even the fast women. We're here for the slow food. Right here in the America's Cup port, you can find the dish that made Valencia famous, and the place to come for it, La Papica. La Papica takes the best the Mediterranean has to offer and makes the classic seafood paella, one that hasn't changed in a century. But for the soul of paella, you must go to the source, to the very epicenter of rice growing in Spain, the Albufera. Fields of rice, 10 minutes from downtown Valencia. Rice paddies for mile after mile after mile. Rice was brought here to Spain by the Arabs when they invaded in the 8th century, and it's been here ever since. In fact, Valencians say that no one in Europe would be eating rice if it hadn't been brought here. And they think that other European rice dishes like risotto are just overcooked rice. The real paella begins here. Rice, chicken, rabbit, and snails. That's the original one. And everything else is called arroz con cosas, rice with things. And what things they have to offer in Valencia. For anything and everything you'd want in a paella, the place to go is the Mercado Central, one of Europe's biggest and most beautiful food markets. A splendid marvel of the Art Nouveau period. Look at this, razor clams, you tap them and they move. This is great. So see, these guys are so alive. Cockles, small clams, look at these. These are like baby whelks or sea snails. These are great because they're crawling all over the place. I love that.
Soy peligrosa, eh?
You're dangerous, yes, I see.
No.
I was totally seduced and wanted to buy everything. But for me to cook paella in Valencia would be a Coles to Newcastle routine. So I set out for Picassent, a small town 20 miles from Valencia. Here, my sources told me, was the place to go for the real deal paella valenciana, a restaurant called L'Altair run by a young chef named Pep. So we're coating the outside of the pan with wood ash.
Es importante
It's very important.
para que no se queme.
Keeps the pan from burning. And this is orange wood. It's traditional in Valencia to cook with orange wood. Valencia is obviously the home of the Valencia orange, and the orange wood scents the paella with its aroma.
Lo primero, aceite.
Some olive oil. And then we have conejo and pollo.
Y conejo.
Pollo and conejo. Chicken and rabbit. Into the pan they go. See, Pep can adjust this heat by moving the wood around and creating warmer and colder spots on the fire. Peps is 28 years old. He's been cooking since he was 16, so he has made many paella. This is a third generation restaurant. Pep's father cooked here, and before that his grandfather. So paella is in the blood.
Okay.
It's bueno, huh?
Sí. Lo siguiente,
The meat is ready.
la verdura. Judía verde.
Judea, which means Jewish beans, but these are what we would call these romanos.
Normalmente es entera.
The beans are trimmed, as you would. So we'll brown the beans.
Deja muy buen sabor.
And he doesn't use a lot of these beans, which are local, but they give a lot of flavor, and they must be spread all through the pan so that they will be cooked evenly.
Tú puedes, si quieres, probar.
I can stir? Okay.
Muy bien.
Not bad,
Me voy yo.
but I'm a gringo.
Me voy a dormir.
You can take the rest of the day off.
Muy bien.
He's just being nice. These are garrafón. I'd call them gigantes, but they are obviously very, very big white beans. If they were fresh, Pep would be adding them now, but because they have been dried and boiled, they stay out of the paella for a little while longer.
Y el tomate.
Now we have ground tomatoes, tomato puree.
Esto es pimiento seco, es pimentón dulce.
Okay. Now pimentón, but pimentón dulce, sweet pimento, dried pimento. And the secret ingredient in Pep's paella, water. No stock, water.
Vamos a sacar un caldo.
You don't need stock. Water will absorb the flavor of the beans, of the meat, of the pimentón, of the tomatoes. In 20 minutes, the water will be stock. It's as simple as that. It's time to add the garrafón.
Sí, puedes tú.
Okay. And we sprinkle them around everywhere. It's enough or more?
Muy bien, va
Well,
bien.
that's good. And rosemary.
Sí.
Todo?
Vale, sí, no hay problema.
There we go. Okay.
Caracoles,
Caracoles.
¿ok?
Come that. ¿Cuánto minutos will this cook for now?
20 minutos. 15, 20, 18, depende del fuego. Yes.
More or less 15 or 20 minutes. Okay, so how does he know that it's ready to put the rice in?
Es una cuestión de sensaciones y de experiencia.
The short answer is experience. Time to take out the rosemary. We're ready to add the rice now. And it gets added over the middle because this distributes it better throughout the liquid. And this is the special Valencian short grain rice that grows all over the place here.
Es muy importante ahora el fuego, abrirlo.
Now it's time to spread out the fire, very important. So we're going to reduce the heat a bit. It's very scientific, as you can see. The heat is all around the sides now, none in the center.
Es casi como si fuera de gas.
But the fact is, this is much better than cooking with gas. The room is filled with the most delicious smelling smoke, and obviously the paella is absorbing some of those aromas as well. Now it's time to taste.
It's good.
This alone is challenging. Getting it to my mouth. Oh man, that is great. You can taste the rosemary. The water has certainly turned into stock, and it's really, really full-bodied, rich, delicious, very, very meaty.
Ahora el arroz se empieza a ver. Entonces hay que ir quitando fuego.
Once the rice starts to surface, it absorbs enough of the broth to come to the top. It's time to start lowering the heat. Pep will gradually take out pieces of wood, move them to the side, and it will cook more and more slowly until it's done. The remaining broth is going to cook out, and we'll soon see only rice. Here in Valencia, it is typical to burn, almost burn, the bottom to form a crust called socarat in local lingo. And that's what we're doing now. The fire is almost gone, and we're just trying to get a little bit of crust and boil out that last bit of liquid on the bottom, and then we are done. Traditionally, you put the paella pan in the center of the table and you eat as much of the territory as you can conquer. This is how we're going to eat it.
Tú puedes estar comiendo.
You can understand this perfectly.
Vale la pena.
Now we let the paella rest for 5 or 10 minutes and then attack. Okay. on el paella. Very nice. Hey.
1, 2, 3. Bon appetit.
You see how there's a crust, but it releases? This is perfect. I'm worried there's not enough. I'm already done with my part. I have to start eating other people's.
I'm trying to conquer the center.
Salud. The Spaniards may think they have a hammerlock on great rice dishes, but as with most things about food, the Italians have something to say about that. So back in New York, I hooked up with Big Red, El Rosso Grande, none other than Senor Mario Batalla. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to show you everything you ever wanted to know about making risotto in like 3 minutes, with some gratuitous kibitzing from me. Mario?
Excellent. First choice, lipids.
Fats.
We love olive oil and butter. This is one of the few dishes that I really, aside from stuffed pastas, sauces, that I'm a big fan of a lot of butter.
When people ask me how come their risotto is not as good as risotto in restaurants, I say use more butter. It will be.
Everything in great Italian cooking is all about the proper balance of everything in order. So we're going to put about, I'd say that's 1/3 of an onion. So you want to sweat the onions, but you don't want them brown. Brown onions, bad story, throw it out, do it again.
And any reason you're using red onion, or just because?
Just because I think it tastes better. I think it's a little sweeter, and I also like a little color in the game as opposed to something pure white and then the green that you're going to see. So now that's it. They're going to cook all the way while we're boiling them.
So now just to get the
just starting to
soften
sweat
them a bit.
Right,
Okay.
exactly. Because I still want a little bit of the texture. So now the rice goes in, and one of the most common errors that a household cook will make is their constant inability to let things just sit there. Heat transfer is something that's very simple. It doesn't need a lot of shaking. This doesn't need, right now what we want to do is we want to completely call it what's called rossolare. It means just to slightly change that rice from the kind of translucent to the opaque. And that's what's going to kind of give it its ability to maintain its al dente-ness when it's fully cooked through. If you look right down in there, that one's opaque.
Yep.
And that one's translucent.
Yep.
So we're going to let them all go opaque, which takes about 1.5 to 2 minutes.
And they'll just become whiter and they'll
Whiter and
uniformly
creamier looking.
white.
Exactly, exactly. And for that very reason, you don't have to keep moving it around. It's, you know, the most common misconception about making risotto is that you constantly have to stir it. You really don't. If you stir it 6 times in the 21-minute cook time, that's good. And then in the last 2 minutes, you have to stir it all the time because then what you're going to do is mantecare.
That's great to know because a lot of people don't make risotto because they think it's so much work.
Right. Same with polenta. They think you have to stir polenta all the time. Now we're going to add a little acidity in the world of white wine. Say just enough to cover that rice. And at that point, we'll give it a little swizzle like so. We'll cook that, all of that out. And then the arduous task.
You're using water.
Well, we're using actually just a garlic broth. But we use water a lot in our cooking, and there's nothing wrong with that. What you don't want this is to be full-on boiling. If it's boiling too hard, sometimes what will happen is the grains will burst. You don't want that. Now, what we're going to do, obviously, is allow that to go just below the level of the rice, and then add a little bit more. And in doing that, in that slow introduction of the liquid without it being completely drowned in the liquid, that's what's going to give it its al dente-ness and its creaminess. So is this exactly how you do it in your recipes in the
It's close.
famous
It's
tomes in
close.
New York
I might have
Times?
stirred it once or
You might have
twice
stirred
by
it,
now, but
and you
it's
wouldn't have
close.
wrecked it. It wouldn't have changed it.
Yeah, it's close.
I'm going to add a little bit of salt. You'd be surprised. Just adjusting the seasoning of boiling water, it tastes really good when you cook stuff with it. That's it, just salt. About halfway through, we let it go just a little bit lower than we normally do.
You'll see that the liquid that's remaining has some creaminess to it. Is
well,
that
you
what
can
you're
see
looking
right there,
for?
right? See that? See how the starch is starting to really set?
Yes.
Now we know that we're right. And you can see that all the rice looks perfectly consistent. And that's exactly where we want to be.
So, what kind of risotto are we making here?
This is going to be an asparagus risotto, which means we're going to add all of the green stuff at the very last second. Take a grain.
Close.
Mm-hmm.
5 minutes to go?
5 minutes. At this point, let's add our thicker pieces of asparagus. So now I'm going to move it to the hotter part of the heat and let it boil up a little bit harder. I'm gonna add a little of that asparagus.
So just smaller pieces, also from
Thinner
the stalks,
slices, but
yeah?
bigger, but from a bigger asparagus.
And you're going to finish it with the puree.
Finish it with a puree, and then we do the most important step, was the mantecare. Off the heat, you add the cheese and the butter with this particularly amazing spoon.
Very clever. Now this puree is
It's
trimmings or
yeah, the trimmings of all the asparagus, the last third before the break-off point. And you boil the heck out of them, then you shock the heck out of them, then you puree them with just water, nothing else.
And you did that when? I saw you come in this morning.
About 5:30 this morning, I got up to do the asparagus. Right after I feed the chickens and butcher the hogs, I come in and do the asparagus stuff. The risotto is just about ready. We're going to add that much puree. That's just about done.
Is it? That's very soupy.
Right. Well, now watch.
And what a color! It's just beautiful.
Then we're going to take about this spoon, stirring just like this,
It won't break the kernels.
No, it won't. No, but also, most importantly, it's getting a good amount of air in there to emulsify that fat. But we need, at this point, Parmigiano Reggiano. I'm going to say a quarter cup. Was that a quarter cup?
I think that's a half, but
Was that a half cup?
Whatever.
That's why your book's working. Why don't I guess? All right. One of the most important things for me about risotto is that it's served sull'onda, which in Venice means on the wave. I don't serve it dry. It's almost wet, almost like a soup. So when you pour it in, it looks just like that.
But you're happy about the way this
I'm
looks.
ecstatic. You're questioning it. Slightly al dente rice kernel.
No, I gotta say it's perfect. The sauce is delicious. The salt level from the Parmesan is right there. Mario, this is really great. In fact, it's the perfect risotto. But then again, you grew up in Spain.
Es la verdad.
With both Spain and Italy heard from, I decided to get patriotic and head out to Napa Valley to cook with my friend Gary Denko. I wanted to see just how complicated a superstar chef could make arroz con cosas. So Gary, I've been traveling all over the world looking at rice, including Valencia, which claims to have been the birthplace of rice in Europe, at least. And now I'm home. I want to see, California, of course, is a great rice growing region. And I want to see what we've got here. So I'm sure you have some
I
good
do.
ideas.
Actually, we're working with leftovers. So
leftovers.
Believe it or not.
It really
So
sounds like you.
Over here we have red rice from Bhutan, and then we have a black rice, and then just a leftover risotto. So what we're going to do is make rice cakes out of these.
Excellent.
So we're going to start. We have some leftover peppers and corn.
This is great. Leftovers.
Leftovers, and then scallions. Very easy, very accessible. And then I'm going to bind it with a little bit of egg white. That's just going to keep the cake together. And you just want to get it so it's, will form into a cake. Okay, so these look pretty mixed. So basically, I'm going to form it with these little rings right here. And
Oh, God. Okay.
Well,
I just for 1 second there, I thought you were going to do something simple.
well, it just keeps the cake, I dipped them in water, and that's really what keeps these sort of from sticking to the side. So, and you can put as much as you want. If you wanted to put a piece of cheese inside, you could do that. I'm going to just put it on top after I cook them a little.
I like that piece of cheese inside idea.
It's kind of the Italian, like the risotto balls with
Right.
So now you have a little cake right here. Very simple. Looks kind of southwestern, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah, because the black rice looks like black beans. Well, they're holding together beautifully.
Let's just cook these and get them crusty on one side, and then we're going to flip them over. You hear a little sizzle. I have a little bit of cheese here. This is a Humboldt Fog, which has that...
Is that goat?
It's goat, aged goat, and it has that same ash stripe as Morbier has in it.
Very cool.
You should try this. It's actually pretty good.
I'm happy to
It's one of
try
my
it.
favorite. You can see it's a little underripe in the center, but... So these are nice because you can make them ahead and just keep them in the refrigerator and then cook them. So
And you could use whole egg if you wanted to.
you
in
could
this,
use,
yeah.
of course, yes. We're always looking to cut down on fat wherever we can, but
Who's we when you make that statement?
well, the restaurant in general.
A, I don't believe
No, there's
you.
one that's how it's
That's
supposed to be.
good, huh?
That's a good color.
You're topping these with cheese, so they're cheeseburgers. Sort
They're
of.
vegetarian
Vegetarian cheeseburgers.
So, Hopefully have the residual heat will melt this cheese and sort of drip over the side, but it'd be a good alternative to eating meat again.
How do you know when these are done, Gary?
Well, everything's already cooked, so it's basically just getting the crisp side. So when this bottom side is ready, then
it's ready.
move these over here.
I like your backhand spatula technique.
You know, you got to do everything.
Nice.
Okay, here we go.
Gary, I'm stunned. There's no garnish on here. There's nothing fancy. You've got no meat juice in this.
I guess I'm
a
becoming
little
more like you,
disappointed.
Mark. Becoming the minimalist.
God, well.
Okay, let's just give him a little try here.
Oh man, there's some good stuff in there.
The top layer gets very crispy.
Yeah, it's
So you have
crunchy.
that crunch, and then you have the
Creaminess
rice.
from the cheese.
So there's my leftover dish, Mark.
Awesome. I'll show you one that's even simpler. Gary, I'm gonna take your leftover rice recipe and raise you one.
right.
Or maybe in my case, lower you one. But I have a good leftover rice recipe. I cook this rice the way you cook pasta, just cooked it in boiling water. And I'm gonna cook it with butter, 2 kinds of cheese, very rich, really delicious. And for color, we're gonna use a little zucchini. And I'm gonna ask you, because I don't trust myself to do this, to julienne the
Mandolin
zucchini.
these.
Beautiful, look at these great shreds. I've got a nice local cow's milk cheese here. Pretty strong, but in this dish you could use really any good cheese. I'm combining 2 cheeses, a sort of semi-soft, like this, and grated Parmesan. Okay, my butter's going. Comes the zucchini. You could use anything in here, chopped carrots, peas.
So where does this dish derive?
This is a legitimate Northern Italian dish.
Northern Italian,
Yeah.
right?
See how the zucchini is limp? I don't have to tell you this stuff.
In goes
And
the
in
rice.
goes it was originally about a cup of rice, so cooked it's close to 2 cups. And basically all I'm doing now is reheating this rice. I don't want it to brown at all. I want to melt this cheese in here and then finish with some Parmesan.
It's like a starchless risotto.
It's really not like a risotto, but it's going to be creamy, or at least cheesy.
No doubt about it, Mark. Your food always is cheesy.
Okay, and
It looks
some
good.
Parmesan. I guarantee you're going to love it. A little bit of Parmesan.
A little bit of parm. Yum. No calories in that, huh?
I didn't say it was low fat. I said it was good.
It looks good.
Okay.
Good. Tastes like rice and cheese.
Rice and cheese and butter and zucchini. It's good.
It's arroz con cosas.
Nothing wrong with rice with things. Well, Gary, great cooking leftovers with you.
Yeah, it's great. Delicious.
So, what's the best rice recipe in the world? Hard to say, but think about this. More than half the world eats rice at least twice a day. The way I figure it, folks, I got a few million more arroz con cosas recipes to go.